when you hit it. I gotta find the stream.
Sorry, I hit it early, but we're live now.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Sorry, Andrew. I pulled the trigger too early, but good morning. Shout out to Ian. We got the orange cream ghost, and that's Ian's go-to right now.
Hey, that's a good shout.
It is.
Honestly.
I like him. I'm trying to cut back on like sugar and stuff like that. So it says 0 sugar, but honestly, it's probably not good for me anyway. So
It says 0 sugar. I don't believe it.
I don't either. But who gives a crap? You know, something's gonna kill you.
Something's gonna kill you.
Well, it's funny because like technically, our cells are dying every single day, right? Like,
Oxygen is killing us, dude.
I know, just like I'm a little older. I'm a little more dead. So
Yep, slightly more dead.
I'm a little more dead. You seem deader than usual. You seem more dead since the last time I saw you. I'm like, brother, preach.
Dude, you could say that. You could say that every single second.
I know. It's awesome. Living is cool. And then it's over. I know. Okay, let me mute this and I'll put it in the community tab and I'll put it in the correct Discord this time. I actually have my... So I'm here. We're here at a decent time. The thumbnail's right. I'm going to put this in the right thing, dude. This could be a good week. Okay. I changed my banner. It says subscribe for Bubby. So I'm leaning into the whole content thing now. I also changed the egg carton like Discord thing.
I saw that
And
to the brain dead Brooks.
Yeah, and it just like because I have all those old meme pictures of that, like people like being like okay, but I just drew black glasses over it.
Yeah, it's brain dead Brooks.
I love it. Brain dead Brooks.
Hello, Eli.
What's up, Eli? Eli's been. I need to like literally take a day off and add all of Eli's music recommendations because he has so many.
Dude,
so many good ones.
I know.
They're
I've been
really
going
good
through it.
too.
A lot of them I know about. I just haven't listened to in a really long time, or there's a couple that I don't know.
Yeah,
Like the
Eli,
Outcast stuff, obviously I know. The Lupe stuff, obviously I know.
Every
The
time
Eric
I listen
B
to
and Rakim stuff, I don't know.
Mhm.
So the good shouts on that one.
yeah, Eli's
Good
got a
shouts
lot
on
of
that
good
one, Eli.
recommendations. Every time I listen to Keen, I think of Eli because like
Keem, yeah, dude.
or Keen, Keane.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you said like Baby Keem.
Oh, baby Keen, that too. Yeah, every time I listen to Keemstar, I'm like, oh, Eli.
We got people already in the chat. Let's go.
Thank
What's
God.
up, everybody?
Good.
Thank God.
Try not to say the F word as much. Oh, Eli, Angie, John Stanek, dude. I shouted him out last time I streamed, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I love Johnny Radio. Chloe, good morning, Chloe.
What's the name of the day, Brooks?
Let me see. Ketamine. What's up, Ketamine?
What's up, ketamine?
That's the first thing.
That's so.
Oh yeah, speaking of music recommendations, I literally every time John posts anything, I'm like I zero in on that cuz John knows so much music. He'll do like top 10 albums of the 50s and I'm like he knows more music than I do, which is awesome. I use that as a resource. I use John's stuff as a resource a lot. I listened to In Rainbows in full for the first time like a week or two ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like my favorite Radiohead record.
It's a great like front to back listen.
It's really my sister went into like a some store. It's like my sister's like 13, so she went into Ryan Love. God, we got to end the podcast. I hate this.
Oh damn it.
Yeah, we went into this store and they were selling vinyls and they had In Rainbows in vinyl and I wanted to get it, but I didn't have any money
sick.
at the time. But that would be a cool vinyl.
Yeah, it's one of the ones. I don't have any Radiohead vinyl. It's something I need to add to my list. We have a bunch of Eli dropped a couple Fleet Foxes songs,
Oh,
and
dude, yeah.
we are big fans of Fleet Foxes in my
Mm-hmm.
house. Big fans of Fleet Foxes.
I
We
listened to
have
Mykonos the other day.
all of their records on vinyl, and it is such a good vinyl listen because
Mm-hmm.
it's so just nice, and I like to read to it. It's so great.
Yeah.
It's the best.
John says he loves Ryan. So hey, John, you can have
You can have him.
it, but you can have one wrong opinion. That's fine. That's okay. That's great. So before we hop into this, also Angie was talking about their 70s and 80s playlist. Mykonos
nice.
makes me cry, making my relationship with my brother very strange. So that always hits. Nice.
Yeah.
Not nice that your strained relationship, just Mykonos. Music is awesome. Music is a universal language, which is great.
Oh.
But anyways, before we start the episode proper, we're going to do some speculation on the Switch too.
Oh yeah. So apparently, according to the internet
Mhm.
and I think Twitter/X, there's supposed to be a Switch reveal supposedly at the
Mhm.
next Nintendo Direct,
Oh, I
which is
can't
supposed
wait,
to
yeah.
happen at some time in June.
Yeah, Andrew texted me and he was like, "We got to be eyeing the internet," which is funny because like there hasn't been a lot of at least from what I've seen, nothing that really has caught my interest within the last like couple weeks since we did nerd news last. Like nothing
Yeah.
has really like stood out to me as like, oh, this is like a crazy thing that we could talk about. Like
I know it's been
Um,
wild. It's been very quiet on the general nerd news front.
Chloe
Ever
said,
since we did the
"Oh,
last
novice,
one.
what's up?" Chloe said, "Direct was announced for tomorrow, so we'll probably
Okay.
have to. I'll be up.
We'll
I'll
have
be
to
up
do
for that. So
So
Um,
this is a really great thing to do on the live, since this is a live and we're not really recording this.
mm-mm.
What do we think we're gonna see, everybody? What do we think we're gonna see? Let's take some bets. Place your bets.
Oh yeah, Eli also said Shadow of the Erd Tree's coming out this week. I need to stream.
Yes, it is.
I need to stream that this week eventually. I was gonna stream Elden Ring yesterday, but I was super tired and I fell asleep early. But I meant to stream a lot last week, but I just didn't get around to it, which sucks. But I've been working on a big video for Dylan, and that's where my priority is right now. But
Yeah.
um,
This also means that tomorrow, Brooks, obviously, we have to stream
mhm.
the event.
Oh, dude,
So-
yeah.
Last
Yeah.
time we didn't get to stream the event. Last time we just did a retroactive talking about it. So
Yeah,
that means tomorrow.
Angie says
We're
they're
gonna
at a
have to stream.
loss. I'm so here for Brooks Elden Ring stream though, dude. Yeah, I might. I'm gonna try to do it. I'll try to do it tonight, which would be great. I just need to work on this video, make sure I get, a
You should be
decent
able to do
amount
it.
of
You
done.
should have time to do it on Friday, I would think. By
Yeah,
the time
and Friday.
Friday comes around.
Friday is when I need to buy it today. I need to check.
Yeah.
My bank account and see how much money I don't have.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the Erd Tree stream 1 would be a Friday would be a great day to do that.
Mhm.
So, okay, while you're figuring that out, chat, let's talk Nintendo, let's talk stuff. Do we think we're going to get a new Switch announcement tomorrow, or like I guess whenever it happens? I assume it's tomorrow cuz Clothin is generally well knowledgeable about these things.
Mhm.
So, do we think we're going to get a new Switch tomorrow?
I really hope so. If not, I would be really, really sad because
Ryan said upgraded OLED. Lol.
that would be great.
I'd be livid, dude. Absolutely just straight mad.
That's great.
Uh
Hold
yeah,
on.
it's I think, and we've mentioned this before, in terms I agree with Eli in terms of release cycle, we are about the time when a new Switch would come out based on the previous console cycles. and generally it ends. I think I mentioned this before. Generally, a cycle ends when the new Zelda game, because they cross-platform the new Zelda game into the new
You're
platform.
right. Yep.
Happened with Breath of the Wild. Happened with what is it? God, Twilight Princess. They technically did it with Ocarina of Time, because they did Ocarina of Time. That even though that was early in the Nintendo 64 cycle, they re-released it with the Master Quest, and that was the bridge into the GameCube. They love using a Zelda game as a bridge, is what I'm trying to get at.
I like that though. Honestly, it's a good barometer for like when something new is gonna happen. So I like that. I think Sarah sent me a text or something that said like the Twilight Princess remake was like in the works or something like that. And dude, if Twilight Princess comes out, just literally just do that. There is one thing we can talk about is it will kind of add into my predictions for the Switch too. What happened?
Yes, Chloe, drop the tweet into the Discord, please.
So there's a popular ROM. This is what we can talk about. This is what I did notice. So Nintendo and Sega were calling for takedowns of ROMs from like Vim's Lair, and Vim's Lair is like a very popular ROM site, and it's all for like
we may or may not have been there a time or two.
Yeah, I don't even know how to spell Vim's Lair. I don't even know where that would be.
I've accidentally backdoored myself into the lair at some point.
Yeah, I know, right? So I stumbled upon it maybe once or twice. Vim's Lair has been around for a long time, and it's for like the idea of emulation in ROMs is like if you own the game and you dump your own ROM to an emulator.
Yeah.
But there are games that are literally not being sold. Mudahar made a video up. I'm going to find it. So let's see. Mudahar. So he was talking about it recently. And he's just got a million videos. These guys just pump out content like crazy. So I'll at least show it, right? Oh, 1 second. There it is. So this video, Nintendo Sega just destroyed the oldest ROM site in history. I mean, it's a clickbaity title because, you got to play the game. But it's there for you. Thank you, Chloe. Appreciate that. But also, so he was this is the only thing that's really happened that caught my interest, which sucks because they're like changing this and like trying to get rid of the ROMs and stuff. But the problem is, and this will lead into my predictions for the Switch and stuff like that, or I guess a want for the Switch. But game preservation, and it's an important thing, right? Because a lot of these games are not sold anymore, and the people that are making money are people who are just reselling the game. Like Nintendo is not, or Sega, they're not making money off of these games anymore, right? So like, either resell them or people are going to get them that way. Like, that's just the way it is. And it's really sad because if you just re-released stuff for like, even if it was like $30 or $40, like I would buy it. We would all buy it because duh. Like if you just re-released freaking Twilight Princess and like Mario Sunshine, or if you just released these GameCube titles for like $20 or $30 on the Switch.
There's a ton of GameCube N64 and Wii titles
and
that don't exist.
Up-res them, make them look good. You could just use, I don't know, there's people that are smart. If people that aren't even hired at these gaming companies can make stuff like that, like people with resources can do that. I'm convinced, right? So that makes sense to me.
For sure.
Also, Ryan Anthony, good morning.
Welcome to the chat.
It's like they have so much. Sorry, I keep cutting you off, but there's
no, you're good.
There's so much that they could do, and like, it's just annoying that they won't do it. Like they're basically like, look, there's no way that we're gonna allow you to play this game without paying for it, but we're also not gonna give you a way to pay for it. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Then they have like the Switch, like the online thing or whatever.
But that's pretty cool, but it's still just kind of
You
not
don't own
everybody
it.
wants to pay a monthly.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
essentially leasing. I mean, I think Eli even said this. According to the corporations, we are leasing. We're paying for the right to lease the game. We don't actually own the game at all, which is a bunch of bullcrap. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. The Chloe sent us a tweet from Nintendo when they announced the live. That's what she dropped. That's what they dropped in the chat. If you want to check it out, Brooks.
Okay, sweet. Also,
It
yeah,
is
Ryan Anthony, sorry. I've been working, so I need to stream this week. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna look at this that Chloe sent.
yeah, yep. It's and it literally says the Chloe was right. There will be no mention of the Switch successor during this presentation.
Damn it.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
damn. We still probably could look at it though.
Yeah. Now they could
Anyway,
just straight up be lying and
that would be sick.
and then just like hit us with that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a dedicated presentation about the new console. They're not going to try to do it with any games. It would be weird to be like, "Hey, here's all these new games for this console. Oh, by the way, here's a new console that these games aren't going to be on." It feels a little weird from like a business perspective. It's like bad timing.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like this is going to be where they push new games. Now, I think the bigger question is because if we know that the new Switch isn't coming tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
are we getting a Hollow Knight announcement?
Silk Song, maybe?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's what I'm thinking. Are we getting a Hollow Knight announcement? Is that going to be the big announcement? Or
that would be so awesome.
yeah, it'd be crazy. Are we gonna get a Hollow Knight announcement or what? Because this is a proper Nintendo Direct, right? This isn't an indie Direct.
Mm-hmm.
This is a proper Nintendo Direct, which means they are announcing generally larger titles. That's kind of how they tend to categorize these things, is like larger titles.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's gonna be 40 minutes long, which isn't crazy.
Eli said Arms 2 or Splatoon 9.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I think there's going to be a bunch of Pokemon stuff, probably, like a look into the DLC for the current Pokemon game, because they've been trying to push that stuff super, super hard.
Right.
Do you think we'll get a look into another look at Pokemon
ZA, I hope so.
ZA?
We might. I don't know if they'd announce starters this early.
No. I don't think they would announce starters this early. Just like maybe like what the storyline might be.
Yeah.
Or something. Like a cinematic, like a cinematics trailer.
I think if I think they'll do it like they did Legends Arceus, which is like, you know how what's his face? Cyrus's ancestor was like a woman. They'll probably do like a gender swap of Lysander from Gen 6, which would be cool because I like seeing I like when ancestors are very different. It's not just like a carbon copy of like whatever, because I don't know. It's something about it just like I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just very nice. It's different enough to where it's like I recognize the likeness of this character, but it's a completely different take on a character. Like and Lysander was very according to the story, the little that I know of the story, or little that I remember, is like Lysander he wanted to reset the world and make it beautiful and something like that. He was very beauty oriented, and like Kalos is a very beauty oriented like region. So I want to see how that plays into it. I wonder if they will like do something with that story wise or whatever. I mean, the story in Pokemon really doesn't matter at the end of the day, really, truly. But
well, this is, I think the story in the Legends ones is generally it does matter in the Legends ones because
It sets up the lore.
It's a very story driven game.
Kind
It's a
of,
lore
yeah,
driven
more
game.
so than like a mainline game, but like
That's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah.
more so than a mainline game. You're definitely following like a lore. You're the predecessor of whatever time period of a thing that's happening.
Right.
But Eli also said, and I also think this would be dope, and a good way to end the Switch cycle from a Pokemon perspective would be Black and White remakes.
Ooh, that would do me good.
Because it's been a long time. When did Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl come out? I think it came out.
Right?
It came out. Yeah, it came out when Legends Arceus came out. Whenever that was. I think that was 2021. Yeah.
2021 probably.
Yeah. So it's been a couple years since we've had like another remake. If they wanted to do a remake and they wanted to do Black and White and they really wanted to send the Switch off like
that would be so
soaring,
awesome.
that would be the way to do it.
I love Black and White. It might be like my favorite aside from like Gen 3. Whoa, it got super dark. Holy Lord. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to let the sun do its thing. I'm going to let, it's cozy in here, okay? It's nice. I feel safe.
But yeah, no, I think the Black and White remake would send it off really strong. I'm just trying to think of like how would they send off a console really, really strong, right? Like, what is a way that they're gonna? There's got to be some games you would think that they would announce.
Permanent Mario All Stars.
In the, you got to think there would be a game that they would announce that's gonna send off the Switch because we all know that it's coming to the end of its cycle. Yeah. Everybody knows it. Everybody's talking about it. Nintendo knows it. Nintendo knows we know. They're just not saying it. So
maybe like a top-down Zelda instead. Like
so if you wanted to remake in the style of Link's Awakening, the first Zelda,
love that one.
That would be cool.
Eli said Star Fox, and that would be awesome.
Star Fox would be cool.
Yeah, because they don't really do a lot with Star Fox.
Yeah, Star Fox would be awesome, especially like a Star Fox 64 remake.
I feel like you could do a lot with the Joy-Cons, being like wireless.
Yeah.
And, like.
Yeah. That would actually be. You could like drive the ship a lot more.
Yeah, that would be sick. I would love that.
But then you have the option to turn it off and just play normal. That would be very sick.
Yep. So any final things before we hop into the episode? I think that's pretty much all I have to say and all I have to think. Donkey Kong 65. Come on.
Metroid Prime 4 update.
Oh,
I want a date.
Yeah.
What if they hit us with a Metroid Prime 4 release date? Like, even if it just says 2025.
I just hope it's better than 3. 3 did not do anything for me.
What if it just says 2025, dude, and that was it? I love it.
Love it.
Or anything kind of Metroid, I think would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be. I would love to see some non-main franchises get some love. Kirby, Star Fox.
Kirby fans eat pretty well, honestly. Every time, like
I know. Well, they drop a new game and it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the Kirby. I would love to see Donkey Kong. I would love to see Star Fox. I would love to see a Metroid.
Ryan said, Eli, you're going to make me ink.
Yeah.
A Steel Battalion, but like Star Fox. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, that would be so sick. But yeah, no, I think I would love to see one of those franchises that aren't, Zelda or Mario or they've already done a big Pikmin push, so they just released that game. So like that's going to be kind of pushed to the wayside. So really like something that's not Mario, Zelda, or Pokemon get some love in this Nintendo Direct. It would be a great time to do it. You know what I mean? They come into the end of this cycle. There can't be a lot to talk about, I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably still going to get a ton of indie games. But my people that know me know I'm here for a Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Me too. Chloe and Hannah, and we'd all shit. You, me, Chloe, and Hannah.
The chat is going to be wild. I'm going to be losing my mind
He brings Micah in here and he's like, "Boy, look!"
He loves Hollow
He's
Knight,
like,
dude.
"That's
He
awesome."
loves Hollow Knight.
Micah,
We play Hollow Knight
look! And he holds
together.
him up, like you literally pick him up and hold him up to the screen, and you're just like, and he's just like giggling the whole time because he's a giggly little dude. Micah's awesome. He's funny.
To answer your question, Eli, they did a Metroid Prime remaster remake kind of deal recently.
So
and
good.
I think it was really awesome. A lot of people speculated that this Metroid Prime remaster remake is what the developers were using as like a base canvas for Metroid Prime 4. So like the way they did the skins, the way they remapped all of the stuff, the way they worked with the new controls is going to be not only how they're probably going to end up remaking the whole Prime series eventually, redoing 2 and 3, but also how they're going to use it for 4. Like they're using all of those assets for 4.
Yep. Oh man, I can't wait.
That's the speculation, at least, obviously.
Yeah, I would be so happy about that. Yeah, none of us know, but hey, I'm ready to shit. If you're you know me, I'm always, it's like Michael Scott, he's like, you know me, I'll be pooping, whatever.
I'll be pooping. Good Lord.
Big world, a lot of smells. Anyway, you ready to hop in?
Big world, a lot of smells.
We're ready to hop into the episode?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start recording now, and then I'll give you the cue.
That's fine.
So I figure it'll be easier if I just start recording, and then I'll give you a tap, and then so ready? 3, 2, 1.
Happy Monday. Welcome to the Things We Like podcast. I'm Andrew. That's Brooks.
That's
Brooks,
true.
how are we doing today?
Pretty good, man. I'm just sucking down this ghost real quick,
Dude,
just
let's go. Pause.
let's
go.
sucking him down.
Yeah. We are doing this episode the day after Father's Day, and I wanted to show off.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day, Andrew.
This super cute
Belated.
thing that Micah made for me. Look at this. Look
Dude,
at my little guy.
There's no way he's too small.
Dude,
I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
he's
That looks
3,
awesome.
dude.
That's so
He's
sweet.
3, dude.
Oh, so he like painted around it.
Yeah, he painted the frame for me.
That's
he made like
awesome.
a little wood frame for me.
I love that. That's really sweet. He
Uh,
looks older than the last time I saw him. Or is that a more
Yeah.
recent picture? Or like,
yeah, that's like, oh god, probably 3 or 4 months ago.
because his hair looked different. I don't know. So maybe I'm crazy, but like,
He got his hair cut, I think, since you saw him.
yeah.
It's giving Monet.
That's awesome. Yeah, Mike is a sweet kid.
Yeah, so the kid that made me a dad
Yeah,
blessed me with the picture. So
that's awesome.
yeah, we had a good Father's Day yesterday. We were at the pool. That is why my face is currently
Oh
very
yeah.
red
I saw
and
my dad
sunburnt.
yesterday. My dad's a funny guy. My dad's like me, only sillier. So if you can only imagine.
Did you go see him yesterday?
I saw him yesterday. They went to eat, and
Nice.
then I pulled up because we did. I played at church yesterday, and then I came by, and then I was really exhausted. And I fell asleep, and I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule to get up early.
To
But
work out early.
No, I ruined it yesterday. I fell asleep at like 5 or 6, and then I woke up at midnight, and I was like, "What year is it?" And then it was all downhill from here. But anyway,
Nice.
Today's episode we're talking about concert experiences. So it can range from anything because Andrew and I, we've seen a lot of shows, we've played a lot of shows, we've done a lot of stuff. We've been playing music a long time. Sleep schedules are just not a thing, says Chloe. But yeah,
Yep.
they're time and sleep is a myth. So
Exactly.
so you can call heads or tails.
We've played a lot. We've experienced a lot. We've been to a lot. So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. All right, heads or tails, Andrew.
Heads for me.
Siri, flip a coin. It's tails. I feel like you're
You go
always
again.
losing these, which is like, it's not your fault, but Siri's my Siri just
Siri
doesn't
hates
like
me.
Andrew. It's okay. So I guess we'll structure this as like favorite concert that we've been to, favorite shows that we played, and maybe like least favorite concert experiences, because I'm sure we've had some bad ones.
Yeah. I could talk about some.
So I have a couple memorable ones.
Okay, so we're gonna start with ones we've been to first.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the Foo Fighters are my favorite band of all time. And some of the most memorable concert experiences I've had were Foo Fighters shows, because the first time I went and saw them, I saw them with my dad. It was the Concrete and Gold tour. It was just me and my dad, and I got to see Taylor Hawkins play. God bless him, rest his soul.
Nice.
But so Taylor Hawkins was playing, and it was great. There's a video of me singing. It was "Best of You." Was playing and I was singing it. My dad's filming it, so it was a great moment. There's this guy in front of us who's like, apparently he offered my dad a joint, and my dad was like, no. Well, it's like, that's not a crazy thing, and it's not super funny.
No,
but like, if you knew my dad, like, I'm a silly dude. I get a lot of that from my dad.
It's funny that it's your dad.
Yeah, I know. It's just like,
funny.
it's just a funny thing. And then later on, when I saw the Foo Fighters again with Josh Freese is amazing. Saw him at Shaky Knees this year with it was me, Ryan, Ian, and Chance. We saw they were better than the last time I saw them. And the Foo Fighters are amazing live. They're my favorite live band. They're my favorite. That was probably my favorite concert that I've seen, was that at
Nice.
Shaky Knees, because also Chance and I saw Dinosaur Jr. in the pouring rain. It was
yeah.
it was soaked. It was ridiculous. Like,
What a good live band too.
dude, we were out there, and Foo was top 3. That was like my favorite. Ryan was there too. Oh, it was awesome. But like,
What a time with the homies.
I know, it was great. And then seeing Dinosaur Jr. in the pouring rain. I'm gonna go see Dinosaur Jr. again in September with Weezer. So it's on my
Nice.
birthday, which is it's in South
Heck
Carolina.
yeah.
You should come. You should come to that show with
Dude,
me if
let's
possible.
go.
It's in Greenville, actually, I believe. So we should go to that.
Yeah. for sure.
If you're down. It's a couple months away, so we'll plan
Yeah.
it later. But also, some of my other favorite concert experiences when you and I and Ian went to see Inner Shikari at Terminal West. That was a great show. Inner Shikari is
one of my tops of all time.
yeah.
as well.
They're I don't listen to them as much as I should, but like they're probably top
God.
20 favorite bands, just because
They,
of their
yeah.
ethos alone. You know, like the reason they exist.
They are one of my favorite bands, and specifically that show at the Terminal was so cool because they were touring that one of my favorite records of theirs, and dude, it was such a fun time. Like, there were literally people just like going wild, but also just like
Yeah.
having a great time and being super friendly. And
The Inner Shikari shows are friendly.
I love the Shikari community.
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
awesome. Also, John said he saw Cage the Elephant in the rain at Shaky Knees. I bet that was really awesome.
Oh yeah.
Cage the Elephant's awesome. But what else? Other memorable my first concert that I ever went to. My first like real concert was For Today, Memphis Mayfire, and The Word Alive with Luke Holland, and then there was another band.
Oh,
My friend
nice.
Caleb was at that show. We didn't even know each other at that point. That was the first concert that I crowd surfed. That was the first concert that I was crowd surfing, right? And then I fell to the ground and I hit my head really hard, but I didn't get a concussion. I wasn't concussed or anything like that. I thought I was going to get trampled, but it was awesome. I remember telling my mom the next day, and she was just like, she went pale. She was like disgusted. And then I can elaborate because I don't want to tell too many and like not listen to yours, but like I'll say, actually, you know what? You do yours, like big ones, and then we'll do like local shows that we've seen.
Yeah,
we'll split them like
that's
that.
a good
So
idea.
do
Yeah,
like
that's a
your
good
big
idea.
shows, and then we'll go to local shows.
So big shows, Inner Shikari, obviously I talked about. It's one of the greatest concert experiences of my life, mainly because they are my favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
But outside of them, bands that I've seen, Fleet Foxes, an incredible concert experience, dude. I'm saying it was one of the coolest live shows. They had like so many people on stage, and they were playing all their like saxophones, trumpets, and violins, and all this cool stuff live. the vocals were all the harmonies and 3-part everything, and all the vocals were just like insanely on point. It was an experience, dude. It was kind of reminds me of like what you're talking about with Foo Fighters, where it's just like you go, you listen, and you're just like, this is like pseudo a religious experience right
That's awesome. I love that. Also, I realize that I can reply to the chat while you're talking.
Yes, you can.
So
yes,
that's cool. So we can kind of enter, because I have it pulled up here, but Eli was
Yeah.
talking about like Delirious, and if I've seen, I mean, I went to
Delirious. Oh yeah, I remember
because
them.
I went to there was a thing at
Early Christian worship rock band.
they had like a conference at Passion City, which is in they have a campus in Atlanta, and Martin Smith was like leading worship, and he was doing like a seminar there, and I went to that with Sam
for sure.
but
Delirious.
yeah.
Oh yeah, so like early stuff for me, like I remember, oh god, like the Pentatonics actually was one of the coolest ones I've seen also, which is like, that's one of those things where because they're fully a cappella,
I would
like,
love to see that. I love
how much, how you know when you listen to it, you're like, but like, how do they pull this off live? How much is tracked? How much is not? Dude, it's 100% just them.
I remember like a handful of years ago, I was obsessed with their Daft Punk compilation.
Oh yeah, dude, it was so, dude, they were, as far as YouTube goes, they actually ran the YouTube game.
They did
really
amazing, because
hard.
I remember when they did Digital Love, and they all go oh like that.
Yeah,
That's such a cool vocal, like, because it like
dude.
the Sins, like it's amazing.
Yeah, so they played here. I saw them. It was so cool. Such a weird experience. Me and my brother-in-law Logan, we really liked them. He and I really bond over like live music experiences.
I love
and stuff.
I love it. I love live music.
And Manchester Orchestra, that one was really sick, dude. Oh god, and I got to see them tour one of my favorite albums.
It
by
sucks
them.
that I didn't grow up with Manchester Orchestra, but like John's gonna freak out because he loves Manchester Orchestra.
Dude, Manchester Orchestra's so sick. I saw him play in Columbia, in a small venue in Columbia, and so that was really cool.
My friend Caleb also loves Manchester.
And then from like the heavy side, seeing Architects live was one of the coolest live experiences.
I could imagine that would be crazy. Was it when
they were touring
Holy Hell?
They were touring Holy Hell, and it was Architects, Thy Art Is Murder, and yeah, dude, and oh god, what's the other British band that I really like? Let me look it up. Is Murder with While She Sleeps. It was Architects, Thy Art Is Murder, and While She Sleeps. It was so good. I never really got into While She Sleeps, and watching them live made me understand why people really like them a lot, because they're a very good live band. They're a fantastic.
Scott
live band.
loves Architects. Like, he sent me videos of their live shows.
Not Architects, but While She Sleeps.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
While She Sleeps. Yeah, While She Sleeps is a very good live band. I was never like super into their music, but it got me into like listening to more of their records.
Gotcha.
Thy Art Is Murder. I've always wanted to see them. Australian band. They were incredible. I love them. They're so good. But the Architects is like a live band that cannot one of the greatest live bands of all time.
Yeah.
Straight up, just their production level is so good, their performance level is so good. He sounds amazing live. Up there with like the only one that's comparable that I've seen is like Seeing a Day to Remember, one of the coolest.
Oh, dude, I would love to go see them. They're on tour right now with I know, it's on the tip of my tongue. Pop punk. Oh, hold on.
Okay, while you think about that, I saw A Day to Remember at a festival in Virginia when I went with Heirloom. I was running
Story
tracks
So
for
Far.
them.
Sorry.
Story So Far. Yeah. I was seeing them, but I also got to see Spirit Box side stage.
Oh man.
Live at that same festival,
Jesus.
and it was Very cool. It helps that, when you play in bands and you've been a part of bands and you're friends with people in bands, you
Yeah.
kind of just like happen your way into some
That's
shows a
like
lot of the time.
Ian's that way. He's got a lot of like social riz. Oh, dude.
Yeah, it helps when you kind of know people, and you just kind of like blow up your way into some bands,
Yeah, I
into
haven't
some
had
shows.
that. I haven't had that luxury yet, but I feel like it's gonna happen one of these days.
Oh yeah,
So this is triggering memories of more shows that I've seen.
yeah.
So I
So
saw
go for it.
One of the strangest shows I've ever seen. I've seen the Blue Man Group live, which
Oh, I bet
it
that
was
weird,
forever.
but
It was
cool.
forever ago. It was at the it's where Blink was. Where did Blink play when they? I can't remember. It's Atlanta, so I don't remember.
About to say, there's like 4 venues.
I
that
know.
they
I
played.
can't remember. I can't distinguish because my brain's bad. But Blue Man Group was crazy. They were really cool live. I saw them when I was really young with a friend of mine. That was interesting. I'm thinking. One of the craziest and most fun shows I've been to. Was August Burns Red at the Tabernacle. John was talking about the Tabernacle. Tabernacle's a pretty, I mean, that's like a medium to big venue. Like big artists play at the Tabernacle, but it's not like not Phillips Arena. It's not like Arena Rock or Arena shows yet. It's not like
It's
whatever.
probably one of the last steps you get before you get to arenas.
Yeah, before you're
It's
like super big. It's like the Tabernacle's that medium between like the Masquerade and like the bigger venues.
I think it's like a 2,500 cap, maybe
Yeah.
3,000 cap.
So August Burns Red with Era at the Tabernacle. Era is amazing. They're one of my. I think. Oh my God! I can't remember the name of the album. It's one of my favorite metalcore albums of all time. I just can't remember the name. I just whatever. That's a very me thing. But Tabernacle. The craziest thing ever. Where there was this dude in a wheelchair, and they were super supportive of this guy, like physically and like socially. It was really sweet. They crowd surfed this guy, right? They lifted his wheelchair up and like and it was so awesome. And they put him in the middle of the pit, right?
And then pitted around him. That's amazing.
They pitted into him, and I was like, "Yo!" And after it was done, they like put his shoes back on because they went so hard in the pit. And I was like, "This is one of the sweetest things in the world." At that show too, there was also, I was at the front because I love August Burns Red. This is when they were touring, whatever the album is with like the Frost and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
There was this girl at the front. She was really small, frail girl. She looked like a very tiny Rihanna. And like, at the front of those crowds, you're being pushed and pushed and pushed. And this girl is like, she fell over. I caught her. I catch this girl. And I asked her, I pull her up and I'm like, hey, are you okay? And this guy taps me on the shoulder and he had to be tweaking. He had to be on something or whatever. Because he was like, hey man, I'll fuck you up, man. I'll fuck you up. I'll fuck you up, man. And I'm like, I could take this guy. Like, he is a skinny looking like tweaker dude. And I was like, I'm just trying to be kind. I'm not trying to get with your girl, dude. I'm just trying to make sure she doesn't get trampled because she was little. She was frail.
Yeah.
And like, obviously I had no intentions of that at all. But it was crazy. That was a wild experience. So like seeing the guy in the wheelchair being supported, that was really sweet. And then seeing,
and then almost getting in a fight.
Yeah.
Trying
Seeing
to help
that,
somebody. Yeah.
trying to help somebody was wild. But, anyway, I'm trying to think if I could rack my brain over any other crazy concert experiences that I've had. I think as far as big shows go, that'll cover mine. Because
I think the only other big show that I had was this was recent. Me and Aaron saw, actually 2 that me and Aaron have saw. We saw Nickel Creek, who I'm a big fan of. It's like bluegrass, progressive pop bluegrass band, but one of their vocalists, Chris Thiele, is one of my favorite musicians of all time. He's so good, and so seeing him in person live was wild, and so that was really cool. And then we saw soon after that, I want to say, we went to Asheville and we saw Copeland play Beneath the Medicine Tree in its entirety on the 20-year anniversary for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing because that whole record is just so good. And there's a lot of nostalgia for both of us for that record.
That's great.
So,
Copeland, I think Ian. Oh, sorry, they were talking about Stevie Wonder at the Phillips Arena. Dude, Sam, my friend Sam and Gadiel, they actually met, like they saw Stevie Wonder at NAMM last year.
oh, that's right.
Or I think it was this year. Maybe it was this year.
Yeah, he was there. He was there. I think he's there most years, but I think he was there. The
Also,
past
it's
two.
NAMM, right? So it's crazy. Just like, yeah, songs in the key of life are like Stevie Wonder is an amazingly proficient musician. And just the fact that Sam and Gadiel just like saw him just like walking out of a bathroom, that's so human. Like,
Yeah.
he was just there, just walking around,
That's
and
funny.
like, like a musical icon.
Yeah. But yeah. So Brooks, do you have any cool? And we can maybe combine these local shows that you've been to that were dope, that where you saw a band and you were like, this band's awesome, or and we can maybe combine like local shows that you've played.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
real
we'll do
quick,
that.
real quick, why don't you talk to chat? I have
Okay.
to use the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah. So, John and Eli are going at it in the chat. Thank God. I knew you two would get along because John is like, he's very musically inclined and he's very smart, and also Eli just has an amazing musical palette. Let's see, songs in the key of life. Stevie Wonder, hands down, Stevie Wonder at Phillips in 2014. That, oh my God, I bet that was crazy because like, is it the song "Wish" that has that crazy bass line in it? Oh, I love to see that live. But also like "Superstitious" and like "Isn't She Lovely?" The only song, "I Wish." So "I Wish." Okay, cool. My brain is terrible, so I can't remember a lot of anything. Also, seeing Radiohead at Stone Mountain, John, I would love to see Radiohead live. I don't know if you caught this before, but I told Andrew earlier that I just listened to In Rainbows for the first time, and that's probably my favorite Radiohead record. Because I've been listening to a lot of Radiohead lately. Like, I listened to OK Computer, and then I've been listening to a little bit of Pablo Honey here and there. I know that's like their first record and everything, but I Wish goes so hard. But Jonathan Richman live in Olympia.
Yeah, you're getting into your music snob
Oh,
era.
dude, yeah, I just love Body Snatchers is so good.
Nah, dude, it's cool.
And then
They got riffs.
like Weird Fishes and Arpeggi is a great song, and that whole album, if you want to just chill after like Body Snatchers, like it's such a great album just to put on in the background and to have just playing. But anyway, so we'll get into our local shows. 15
Local
step.
shows-
Oh, 15 step is crazy.
Maybe local shows that you've played or been to. We can kind of combine.
Okay,
those.
so let's do.
And then we can talk about some of the bigger shows that we've played. So maybe save those for like a separate conversation.
Okay, we'll start with the local shows that I've been to. We'll get into the ones that we played last. That'll be the second half.
Okay, that works.
So my favorite local shows that I've been to, any Stay Here show. I mean, I love those boys so much. Like, Stay Here, they have my heart. I was in that band for a short period of time, and we did a lot of cool stuff together. Absolutely love Stay Here. I think Grow is a perfect record from start to finish. Honestly, truly. There's not a single song that I want to skip on that record.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me because I don't know if you are the same way, but like the older I get, the harder it is for me to find albums that are like perfect from start to finish. Like,
yes,
there's a few of them for me, like LP2 by American Football is that way. I have to listen to it from start to finish. The Avalanche by Owen is also a good one for me. But also there's like a few songs that I don't they're not bad, and I don't dislike them. I will usually skip them sometimes, but Grow is amazing. So any Stay Here
it's
show.
so good.
I think Big Gig 2020 was a very important one for me because that's where I met Ian. I took Scott because that's where I saw the Callous Cowboys for the first time.
Yeah, we played directly after them.
Yeah,
Harm
played. Yeah,
them.
so technically the first time I
show.
ever met you or saw you or even
Saw
heard
me.
of you.
Yeah.
So that Big Gig 2020 was a big one for me. I think anytime I've seen OK Kennedy play, like OK Kennedy is great. Bummer Hill. We did. So I played this, but I also got to watch OK Kennedy and Bummer Hill doing the big ass summer block party.
Yeah. We played that.
Yeah, you played with us, which was great. We did the interview after with Kapoor House. Oh, speaking of local venues and stuff like that, anything at the Bond House is fucking awesome. Yeah. It's a local venue in Atlanta. They have house shows. I almost got. We'll get into when I played there. I played there with Clavicle and Stay Here, but
nice.
But also shout out to Cascadenet. Like Cascadenet's great. Seeing them at Big Gig was. Big Gig 2021, I believe, or 2022, or was 2021? I think
they played it was 2022.
When did we play with the band called Love?
That was the 2022, I think.
Okay, 2022. Yeah, you're right. It was 2 years later. Cascadenet's awesome. God, there's so many. Chance and All I Hear Is Birds, like they're amazing. I love killer. Chance. Can't wait for their record to come out. Again, seeing the Callous Cowboys is like, I feel like their music isn't for everybody, but everybody should see them live at least once.
Yeah, 100%. It's like
Carson is a genius. Like
it's like seeing a wild animal attack
itself. Oh, I love it. I love seeing Carson just rip on stage.
There's some. Have you seen it? Have you seen any bands that you've been like, this band is gonna blow up, and then they did?
Oh man, probably
outside of the Cowboys.
I don't think so, because like I got into the local music scene like way later than I should have, because I feel like I was so out of that world for so long, because where I grew up, I grew up really sheltered in like North Georgia, so there was no music scene, none. And like my favorite local shows was watching my friend Grayson was in a band called Under the Weather, and they used to be High Thread Count, and they played with so the Funeral Portrait used to be they used to be Cosmoscope, and I saw Cosmoscope and Under the Weather at like a little at a church show, a Methodist church basement in North Georgia, and that was one of my favorite local shows. Also going to this venue called Swayze's, I believe. The little tiny venue. Swayze's. Yeah. So there's this guy who I don't know much about him other than like one experience I had. He went by the name Mind Man, and he was this giant, just huge, giant man. And he literally lifted me and spun me around on his shoulder. And there was like not that many people there. Oh, John's played at Swayze's. That's awesome. Because it's like all concrete floors, right, John? So like he lifted me up and spun me around like a log, and he dropped me, and I landed flat-footed on concrete. I thought in goat pants. Oh, that's awesome. I landed on my feet, and I was wearing like flat shoes. I thought I broke my feet. Like I hit that hard. And I was like, oh my God. But then I could stand after that. So it's just a shock. Long story. Dude, Goat Pants. I need to hear the story of Goat Pants. But those are some of my favorite local shows. This isn't technically a local show, but this will be the last one. So we played North Carolina. We played in Durham, and that's where Harm is from. We did, isn't that, am I tripping, or am I...
It's like some of us are
or it's like it was a local venue in Durham that we played. So I played with Stay Here, and Ian played bass with Isabeline. So he's filling in there. But it was It was a show, and I'll tell you why I felt uncomfortable after I played there, because it was a show for like people of color and LGBTQIA. Like, it was a celebration of those types of bands and musicians.
Yeah,
and then I
remember
walk in looking like a total skinhead,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cis white Christian guy, you know. And I felt, because like in our band, Julian and Renee. I mean, like Julian's like half white Indian, and Renee is Hispanic, and I mean Parker and I are white, but like,
Yeah. But Parker looks like a stoner.
yeah. So
He just has that vibe about him.
I look like, I'm like, should I be here? Should I be
Yeah,
on
yeah.
it? Because I didn't know until after we played.
Brooks has finally having the realization that he just looks like a cop.
I know, dude. When I have just the mustache, I look like a mall cop. So, but what happened was there was this wild thing. There was a lot of cool bands that played there, and there were these. There were trans women there on stage, and there were like, this band was performing, and there were 2 trans women on stage, and the song was being performed by, like, it was a punk girl band. The drummer was really good.
Yeah.
The guitarist was like very energetic, very bubbly, very cool.
I'm trying to think about who that would be. But
It was a
keep talking.
2-piece, but I don't remember the name. I wish I did. But 2 trans women came up on stage and just started eating sandwiches. And because the point of the song was that, like, it was like a relationship with food, and how like you should be able to kind of eat whatever, and if you eat like something like that. It had a really positive message to it, but I don't want to water it down. But they just like came up on stage and just had food and just started eating sandwiches.
That's amazing.
And also, there was another band that was playing in a tiny little hole in the wall venue below that one in Durham. And they just had like, it was like 3 or 4 or 5 women, and they had like a drummer and like 3 big cellos. And I was like, what is going on? It was really cool.
Yeah, I think that was the festival that Ernest put on.
Yeah, it must have been. So
yeah, we didn't play that one.
No, Andy and Billy were there. I do remember them.
They went because I think This Is Your God played, but Ernest's other band. But yeah, I don't think.
Dude, I love Ernest. Like, Ernest is great.
Yeah, Ernest is good people.
So yeah,
as far as cool local shows that I've been to, I love all the big gigs are awesome.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
we'll get to those a little more later, but those have been very interesting for me. Just like getting to know everybody in the Atlanta scene. That's been a very good
I love it. Atlanta's great
to a lot of those people. That's been really fun. A couple I want to highlight is that Harm has played a bunch of random awesome shows with bands that have gone on to do really cool things.
Yeah.
So we played this random show on like a Thursday to like half a nobody, and it was with this band called Body Thief. Body Thief is so sick. Body Thief has now gone on to, they're currently on the Seosin tour.
Oh, wow.
That's happening right now. Yeah. So like they're doing that. They've toured with Dance Gavin Dance. They've toured with, they're very much in that like Swancore vibe of band. They're from Baltimore. So a bunch of my friends in Hostile Array and Chris from The Ghost Inside all know the Body Thief guys.
That's awesome. I need to see The Ghost Inside live so bad. So bad.
So if you want to check out Body Thief, you should. They're really awesome. But yeah, they're super cool. They're good people. And we got to play with them at a tiny show in a pizza shop in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. It was super cool. And then the other one that we did from that same like place was, I think it was, hold on, it was an who's the band? It's a band with one of the members from Under Oath's like cousin is in that band or something like that. Hold on, I'm trying to remember this band's name. It's a band called is Under Oath. I think Veil of Maya was on that tour.
I think Veil of Maya also played with
Limbs. It was Limbs.
Nice.
It's a band called Limbs. The drummer or something is the cousin of one of the guys from Under Oath. Anyway, so literally it was an Under Oath comeback tour. It was Dance Gavin Dance, Under Oath, Veil of Maya, and the opener was Limbs. While they were on that tour, they had an off day. So they played this show in North Carolina with us.
Wow.
In this tiny pizza shop.
That's
and it
awesome.
was so random.
I love that. That's like so I went to a show with my friend Caleb. It was my first EDM show. We went to see Wave Dash. And he was telling me how Porter Robinson and Wave Dash would do they did this show in a bakery.
Oh,
just
nice.
like a random ass bakery somewhere. But no, that was a cool introduction to that. But that's kind of cool. I love when bands, it's like, what the fuck is up, Denny's? And those guys actually got to
straight up. They were literally on one of the largest underground tours happening at that moment.
Yeah.
And then they also played a pizza shop with us.
Yeah, and then the Denny's guys, people got upset because Blink-182, they made the joke about that, and Blink-182 got mad that they didn't shout them out, so they're like, all right, let's just bring them on a show with us.
Yeah.
Because, Blink-182, they're Mark and the guys are amazing.
Super DIY focused, yeah. So yeah, played that. I know some other cool shows that I've played. There's a handful of shows in South Carolina that I've played that was really cool. Honestly, the one that we played with a band called Love in Greenville was super fun. That one was super, super cool as far as a local show. And then, because a lot of my friends were there, and then I got to introduce you guys to a lot of those people. And local shows, we went, and the thing is, it's in recent years, a lot of the local shows I've been to are ones that I've also played.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of overlap for me a lot. There was a really cool show that we played at in Myrtle Beach, where it was a big multi-state show, bunch of cool bands. There's this band Candescent from my area in upstate South Carolina. They're a very cool knocked loose kind of hardcore band.
Oh yeah,
hardcore metalcore. They're very sick. So it was Arm and Candescent and another band that was hardcore from Savannah, and yeah, I don't know. Very, very, very cool show. It was freaking hot, but it was at the beach. That was awesome. And then this one doesn't really count, but it was kind of a local show because it was a small venue. When I was on the road with Death Therapy one time, we played in Milwaukee, and we were at this barcade.
That sounds awesome.
Dude, it was so cool, but it was super cool because all of the games were free. We just played arcade games on cabinets the whole time. That was really sick. But it was super close to Lake Michigan. And we took a short little drive over to this port area. And while we were waiting, because we had gotten there super early, we had just driven from Kentucky or somewhere, Indiana somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it was middle of Indiana. We drove overnight through Chicago.
I'm also listening, by the way. I'm multitasking while you're talking.
You're good.
So
You're good. You don't have to explain. That's fine.
but I'm good.
Yeah.
Andrew's a good guy.
We drove from Indiana up through Chicago, made it to Milwaukee on our way to a festival, played this show at this barcade. Hopped in, got there super early, took a little nap. The venue wasn't open, so we were like, well, what are we going to do? Looked around. Lake Michigan was right there. So we literally just hopped in the van, drove over to this spot, walked down to a pier, and swam in Lake Michigan for an hour and a half.
That's amazing.
And then got out, dried off, went back to the venue, and the venue was open. And so we started getting set up and stuff.
That's really
random
cool.
Random cool little trip for me.
I think traveling like that is all. So when I went on tour with Imprint, this tattoo. I need to get this one touched up.
The segue into shows that we've played.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's perfect. So, I went on tour with this band. They're called Imprint Band, and our worship leader, he's from Ukraine, and he has a band called Imprint Band, and they do it's alternative pop Christian music, but it's in the Russian language and Ukrainian language, and we did a benefit tour for Ukrainian orphans that were affected by the war. And I got to tour for the first time, like legitimately tour. Also, the sun is stupid right now, but it should be coming back. It was a great experience. Like, I had a lot of fun. But traveling is my favorite part of that. So I remember my favorite place we went was Seattle. There's a huge like Slavic community up on the West Coast in like California and Seattle and stuff like that. We went to Portland. So there's a church in Portland that we played. And Seattle was my favorite. It was me, Sam, and our friend Zahar. We got the Lime scooters and we just like drove around Seattle on our off day. It was so much fun. So much fun. And in Seattle, that day was one of our best shows that we played, I think.
Oh, nice. Dude, the best part of being on tour is literally just like traveling.
Yeah. Eli's from Seattle. I remember that. He was telling me that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you see so many cool places and you meet a lot of cool people, and like it's a good way to kind of get out there while having like a reason to be traveling. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I love it. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, traveling is my favorite part. I want to travel in 2025. Like, I have plans to travel a lot, and I want to do that and just go to different places. I love coming. Like, when I went to vacation to Greenville, that was like some of the most fun I had last year was with you and just hanging out. Coming down to meet Brad at the studio and just doing all that stuff. Like, that was a great time. I want to do more of that too. So yeah, we went to Seattle. It was crazy.
We need the Brooks World Tour.
I know, dude. I'm just gonna go on tour. But Cali was cool. The West Coast was awesome. Because I didn't really get to explore that much because we were like, you know, when you tour, it's like you have a really tight time limit and frame of time that you have to be on certain things. And I remember doing shows with Stay Here. We would like get on their like little van or bus and like go up. Jacksonville, one of the coolest venues I've ever played, was this really clean place. We played with I have one of their shirts. Why am I blanking on their name? It'll come to me. But Mr. Worldwide for reals. Yeah. But we played with this band, and Jacksonville, they had an awesome venue. I actually got my head signed. Somebody signed the back of my head with a Sharpie.
Oh, that's sick.
At that show. And then the next day we played at the Bond House, and that one that was a show that so I guess we can talk about our local shows that we played, or any shows that we played, our favorite shows that we played.
Shows, yeah.
We did after that we did a show at the Bond House to Stay Here, and I'm so stupid I will never ever play a venue without hearing protection ever again.
Oh yeah, never again.
Because
I wear in-ears regardless of whether I'm
so dude, my ears rang for like 3 days, and I was legitimately scared. Because the next day I woke up, I stayed at the Stay Here house, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, dude, I couldn't even believe how bad my ears hurt. But they had a monitor, and I was playing bass, you know, Renee's behind me, I'm playing bass, and this monitor starts to fall. Because like the turnout was amazing for the show, but like the monitor just happened to fall. I had like, I'm like, we're playing Piedmont, and I'm just like, the way you looked at me, and I'm like, is that what and I'm like holding the monitor up, and I was like almost getting crushed by a monitor. That was crazy. But I would say my one of the top 5 shows I've ever played. Also playing there is nothing like playing a show with Clavicle during October, because they're like a Halloween band for me, because they love Halloween, they love horror, they love all that stuff. But I remember we dressed up, and I wore like a Donkey Kong mask on stage. It was great. I have it back there somewhere.
That's awesome.
But I did it with Stay Here too when we played. We played at EAV, which was East Atlanta Village, for those of you who don't know, but that's its own pocket of culture in Atlanta. But we played at EAV there. But a Halloween show with Clavicle is like, that's like, I kind of want to do it this year at some point if they have a show going on, because that's just fun. I love their music.
I'm sure they will. They normally put on like a Halloween show themselves.
Yeah, but it's just hard to commit to stuff like that because of like rehearsal times and having to like, because they want to rehearse, and you have to rehearse to kind of make. I feel like any band should rehearse to make themselves sound good. You shouldn't just hop on. At least one run through, you know, like, but don't overdo it. But you know, that's a whole different topic. But I love Clavicle, and I love Stay Here, so doing that. top 5 shows was Big Gig 2022, which you and I both played together. So here's the timeline for that.
I played 2 different shows that day.
Yeah, because you played with Harm as well.
Harm and ABCL.
I did too.
Day.
So what happened was it was me, Ian, and Scott. We got up. That was because playing with Scott was one of my favorite things ever, because that was like a whole full circle moment for us. But like, we woke up like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and then we drove to the Masquerade. We were there early, and everything was set up. We got set up, and then I played with a band called Love with you and Scott earlier that day. It was like 6. It was a good time slot too.
Yep.
Bino played with
like
us
2 after. Or
yeah,
like that.
It was great. Like we had like Julian played guitar with us. Scott played guitar on No Ransom. You played with us. It was a great show. Like, and then I played with Stay Here, the headliner, at like 1 p.m. And that was crazy because the show ran on a little bit longer, just because there were a lot of bands, which is, you know, I didn't mind personally, but you know, I'm like the most down person for anything. So we did that, and then we left, and Ian and Scott slept over at my house, and Ian and I were playing at church the next day. We got like 50 minutes of sleep. Yeah. I have a picture of Ian.
Fell asleep in between.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing all the time because like those 7 a.m. call times are brutal, and then 2 services like that in between. 2 rehearsals in between. Oh, dude, I was dying. I think I slept for like 20 plus hours after that. Because I remember Shelby was at our house too, because she was in town, and Shelby came to see us play at Big Gig, and Shelby was there. It was me, Scott, Shelby, and it was in my house. And then I was like, all right. And then I went to bed. I tanked so hard. What's up, Ryan? Ryan came back. But I'm trying to think. Any other shows that I've played? A lot of the Imprint stuff was fun. Playing in Seattle was really fun for me. That was one of my favorite. It was funny because what happened was I was trying to download a Helix patch that it had like it was a specific one that they wanted. It had a microsynth on it for these like really low parts. And what ended up happening was I had my Mac, my laptop, and I was trying to update my Helix or download the patch onto my Helix. And then my laptop, it didn't freeze or die. It just went into sleep mode, but it interrupted the updating process for the Helix. That is like biggest no-no when you have a Helix is do not interrupt the update. It bricked my Helix and my Helix would not work.
Yeah, it doesn't like that very
much.
It
hated it. And I had to come home and update it and fix it on my PC. I was terrified. I'm like, I destroyed my Helix. My Helix is dead. And I'm like, oh. Also, I had a bad ground in my bass, and my bass was like, to the second leg of that tour, my bass was screwed up. So it was just, bad luck Brooks.
Yeah.
But that's all those are some of my favorite concert experiences.
Well,
that
I
have
some fun bigger shows that I've played.
Yeah.
So bigger shows that I've played. We'll go in some order. So I went to Texas, the Death Therapy. We played in somewhere in the middle of the desert.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You played with Blake? In between. No, this wasn't with Blake. This was different. This was somewhere in the middle of the desert, in between Dallas and probably about a couple hours outside of Dallas, going towards the west. It was called Rock the Desert. It was us and Fit for a King and Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and the Devil Wears Prada. A couple.
Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
It was very cool. So we played that. That one was a cool show. Meeting all the guys and hanging out was really fun. Me and Jeremy, the Poister from the Devil Wears Prada, talked a lot about guitars and stuff, and that was really fun. And then at the time, at the time. They didn't have Bobby. Fit for a King didn't have Bobby, their old guitarist. So one of Jason's really good friends was filling in on guitar.
Yeah.
So who's now their current guitarist. He came on to be their current guitarist, and he's really cool. So we all got hung out, me and Kirby and all those cool people got to hang out. That was really fun. Rock the Desert was pretty cool. Another one that we did with Death Therapies was we went down to Mexico, and played on the side of a volcano.
Oh
That was
wow.
pretty sick. It was us and POD and a couple other bands from the States.
POD,
Um,
that'd be crazy.
yeah, that was wild. Landing Mexico City was a weird situation, and then staying there, and then getting a van and driving like an hour and a half out of the city into the middle of the nowhere and the side of a mountain or side of a volcano to play. So yeah, that was super cool. Met a lot of interesting people. The language barrier was pretty strong, so I didn't get to like
Yeah.
talk to too many people. But a lot of the bands were really cool, so we just kind of
Mhm.
chatted with a lot of the
Yeah.
bands.
Yeah, music is I kind of run into that sometimes with like the Slavic community because there's
Hmm.
one guy that we did like a it was like a worship conference thing, and this guy his name is Vitali. It still is, but
Yeah.
his name was no, it still is his name, Vitaly Yefremishkin, and he
Hmm.
didn't speak like a lot of English. And there was one riff. There was a song. It was like a transition to like it was going from a 5, and it was like a walk up on guitar to the 6. He goes
Hmm.
ding 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 ding, and I didn't know how to play it, so I was like, "Hey," and I nodded at him, and I just pointed at my bass, and he looks at me. He goes, "Oh, and then I went, and he goes, "Okay." So yeah, like music
Okay.
music is a universal language. It's like math.
Yeah.
You know, math and music, you can always communicate.
Well, and some of the people had enough understanding of English
Mhm.
to like get around a conversation, and I knew enough Spanish to like kind of bridge the gap, so that was kind of nice. Um, but yes, Mexico City, Eli, Mexico City is freaking massive. It took us forever to get out of that city. We landed, we slept in a hotel that was like connected to the airport, and then we met the guys downstairs that were driving us to the festival, and it legitimately took us like hours to get out of the city. It was so, and it's just so everybody's on top of each other. It's so compressed. There are so many cars. It feels like flying into somewhere like Chicago or like Houston, where or Atlanta even, where it's just like there's just so much city, like in every direction.
Yeah.
It's just so big.
I think
Um,
that's where Dylan and Lex went on their honeymoon. Was
Mexico
Mexico
City?
City? I think so.
Yeah, it's super cool. A lot of people do go there for their like vacations and stuff. It was just like getting through the nitty gritty part of it
Mhm.
to like trying to leave the city. It was kind of funky,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was really cool. I have a handful more of like shows kind of like that, and and so I went and played. I've mentioned it before. I didn't play this one technically. I was teching. I ran tracks for Heirloom at this festival in Virginia, Blue Ridge Rock Fest. It was the
Mhm.
first year they did it, and they played. They got on this really great time slot. It was right before Spirit Box, and it was super cool. And so they got a really cool thing. My friends in Hostel Array also played that show. Got to help tech for them a little bit as well.
Mhm.
So at that festival, I got to see like a ton of cool bands. Obviously, my friends in the Ghost Inside were there, so I got to hang out with Chris and all
Oh
those
yeah.
guys. And then got to see A Day to Remember. Got to
Damn, that's
see
awesome.
a bunch of other cool bands. My buddies in Islander were also there, so I got to hang out there. It was basically like all of the bands that I knew that were bigger were also there, and I was there with Heirloom, so I just got to kind of be there and hang out and help make sure everybody's show ran smoothly. So
That's great. I
that
love
was
that.
really cool. That was really cool. And then the other one was trying to think. I have one other. So my other international trip was also with Death Therapy,
Mhm.
and we played in Germany. We flew to Germany, played a festival in Germany
Was
around
this one with Blake?
This one was not with Blake. I've
Oh.
never played in Death Therapy with Blake.
Oh,
Weirdly
okay.
enough, yeah.
Man,
Um,
that would be a crazy
Me and him
lineup.
have played a ton of shows together,
Mhm.
and have and have never played.
That's
We
wild.
played a ton of shows with Death Therapy and never together.
Damn, that sucks. Because Blake is one of the most talented musicians that I've ever met in my life, and like
for sure.
That's I mean, you too.
We played in a band called Love together before we played in Death Therapy.
That's amazing.
That's so funny. But we flew to Germany. It was like an 8-hour flight. We flew into Dusseldorf and then drove to this festival that was beautiful location. It was in this like small like city kind of thing on the side of like a mountain, and you had to drive up the side of a mountain, and it was like this beautiful picturesque like town that had like a big convention center in it, and the convention center is where they had the festival. So playing to like 3,000 Germans across the ocean, and like talking with all these people, and I don't know, man. That was really, really sick. That was really, really sick. Being able to travel like that, enjoying ourselves. It was us and O Sleeper was there, and Wolves at the Gate was there, and a couple of other friends of ours, bands that flew in the same flight with us, were there. Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good time. We played both days. They had like 2 stages, and so you played the big stage one day, and then you played the small stage the next day, and you could do both sets. Some people did like acoustic sets on the small stage, and that was really cool. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Made some really, really good friends.
Very cool.
On that trip, from bands kind of all over that have become like weirdly lifelong friends now.
Yeah.
For a while. I mean, you don't travel to Germany and drink in a pub in a small town outside of Germany without, making some friends. So that was probably one of the bigger shows that I've played, just in terms of scale and also in terms of the length it took to get there, because it was like an 8 to 10 hour flight there and back, and there was about 3,000 people there. Yeah, no, dude, it was super cool.
That's awesome. I want to travel. I need to get my passport, first of all. I want to travel overseas so bad. I've never done it. So I think it's I had to ask Blake. I was like, how do you get a passport? Because I'm stupid. I don't know.
Go to the post office.
Yeah, that's why I have to go get, he was telling me, like, you have to get, like, a passport photo at, like, a CVS or something, and then go to, like, the post office, set up an appointment.
Some post offices will do the photo for you. You have to ask.
All right, I'm gonna follow what Blake said, because he knows. He just had to. I think his wife Lex had to renew hers recently, so that's how they did it.
Yeah,
so
I haven't done mine in a while. I haven't had to use mine since 2019, 2020. So.
Yeah. So anyway, how about we transition into our? I know this is things we like, but let's end this off with our least favorite or just awful concert experiences. Because I have,
we could.
I don't have too many, but I have some shows. It's mainly shows that I've played that sucked.
Yeah.
And it was like, obviously no disrespect to like the bands or the people I was playing with, but like either the venues were sucky or something sucked. Like, so I'll go first. A band called Love playing at Sweetwater in Swanee. I'm just gonna be blunt.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
It was me. I think it was me.
It was the 4-piece, right?
Yeah, it was the 4-piece, because we were testing. Yeah. We were just testing out some stuff, and we played with oh my god, Menu was headlining, so we opened for Menu, and then god, I'm blanking on the name of the Santi's band. Pinto Sunshine. So Pinto Sunshine. And then there was also this like punk band that played before us. But dude, like I straight up just did not. I'm not gonna be too harsh. I just did not like the venue. I didn't like.
That's fair.
I didn't like the venue. I didn't like the atmosphere. I didn't like. I didn't really like the sound guy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying, I was like in my own head. I was kind of in a bad headspace at the time too, so I wasn't paying too much attention at the time. But like the people that were paying attention and were more aware, like I love Menu, love Penta Sunshine, love those guys. But like that show was just like it was just not great. I just do not like that venue personally. It just
That's fair.
it wasn't like it wasn't. And a band called Love is never. We're never too good for any venue, but like, and I'm
But
not.
you're
gonna,
not gonna. But if you hate the venue, you're not gonna go back.
But yeah,
Like,
it just it
doesn't-
didn't. The venue really didn't like suit us all that well,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Especially
It
not
was just
trying
an.
to do
It
a
was just an.
four-piece
It was just
situation.
not a very fun experience, and not a fan of that venue. Also, there was I have a friend. His name's Ahmad, and he goes by Scoot Teasley, and he does country music. So we did a gig at a college, and I felt bad for him because he got like really screwed because they just didn't give him any gear. Like they just like there was no support for him specifically.
Oh, like from them.
Yeah.
College
and-
shows are notoriously kind of rough, mainly because they expect you to show up and like have all your own stuff.
Yeah. And I'm glad I brought like this little speaker. The speaker I had, it didn't work anymore, but like I brought this little monitor, and I'm like glad I brought it for like my bass or whatever. It's just like there was just nothing to work with there, and I felt bad for Ahmad because like I had fun with him. Like we had a good time. It was me, Sam, Ahmad, our friend Aaron, and another guitar player, and like I had a good time with them, but it just I felt bad for them. Like I just felt
Sure.
bad for them. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of like other bigger concerts that I've been to. There was one time I remember I don't even remember the band, but there was one interaction that I had with a band, not directly, but it was like it was Stay Here at EAV.
Okay.
And sometimes like if I'm at a show, if I'm going there, if I'm playing, sometimes I'll step outside and I'll take a break, and I'll like
Sure.
I may not watch every band play, and I may not I mean I'm sure you feel the same way. It's like you kind of need to take a break and kind of do your own
Yeah.
thing, and you're allowed to do that, right? You're allowed to
Yeah.
kind of have your autonomy and walk around and do whatever you want.
Especially at shows when you are playing, you've been there generally for 6 hours sometimes prior to the show starting.
And
You've been talking to people, you've been doing stuff, you've been setting up, and it's all in preparation to play the show. And then once you play the show, so maybe even sometimes before, you have to take a second to seclude yourself a little bit, because otherwise, or decompress in some way, because otherwise you go crazy and you get way too tense, and you're not fun to be around later in the show. Yeah, I've had to do that before too, where I just like have to step out and skip half a band's set. I'm always pretty good about like trying to watch a little bit of everybody's set, but I honestly now don't feel bad if I have to.
So anyway, what happened, and I totally feel all that, by the way. But what happened was I'm always, even if I don't hear the band play, even if I think that they're not good, I will always say, hey, you guys were awesome tonight. Like I feel like that is show etiquette, because I would never go up to a band or somebody who is performing and be like, hey, your set sucked dick. Like I would never do that.
Yeah.
Like, cause we're doing it too. Like we could just as easily sucked,
Yeah,
We
I
could
don't
have
lie to them necessarily. For me, it's it's more of like, hey, great job.
Yeah, there was a way you could be like,
set.
hey, it wasn't really my thing, but I appreciate
Yeah.
what you're doing. There's a way to communicate that properly, right?
Yeah.
So all that to say, like I'll never do that. Like I'll never be straight up like this was trash, this was bad, I didn't like this. But
Sure.
there is a way to do that. But there was an interaction with a band that we had. I don't remember their names, but I said, "Hey, you guys sounded awesome tonight. You guys were awesome." Like just trying to support them, and they're like, they said something along the lines of, well, how did you know you weren't watching the set? And I was like, fuck these people. I was like, you sounded like shit, by the way. You were shit. Like, don't even have that attitude with me, because I'm over it. I'm above that. It's so stupid.
Goodness.
Like, it's so arrogant, right? To be like, well, you weren't watching. Like, I'm not obligated to watch your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but also you can be. This is the other thing. You can be almost anywhere in a venue and listen and hear somebody. Like, even if you're outside, you could still hear people, especially if you're playing. Like, man, that is not the etiquette to have.
No.
When talking with other band people.
I hated that. It really rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, how arrogant to think that your shitty nobody band is like so good that I have to watch you, you know? And it pissed me off, because I was like, that's so rude. It's like, I hate arrogance and like pridefulness, and to think that your band, because the band that the headlining band that we were there to see, they were sweet as, they were from New York. I forgot their name. Mm-hmm. They were from New York. They were really cool. They were very like sweet guys. We talked with them. I didn't watch all of their set, but I watched some of it, and they were good. You know, I liked them. Like, I really wish I remember the name, but my memory is doo-doo balls. But that really stuck with me, of like, that is something you do not do. Do not ever don't think that you're so high and mighty that everyone has to watch you, you know? And it always stuck with me, because I was like, how arrogant of that. It's like, well, you didn't watch the set, how would you know? And I don't remember the exact interaction that we had, but I remember, like, I think Julian mentioned it or something or whatever. I didn't hear it directly, but I caught wind of it. But just like the principle of the matter was that I did not like that, and that stuck with me. That was a very sour experience to have with a band, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about you anymore. Like,
So, very funnily, Eli said this, and it sparked a memory of one of the things that I want to talk about, which is they got that music that you got to see to believe. Hearing isn't enough for you to get how good the music is.
Right, yeah.
Bro, when I tell you that there was a show that we played in Aiken or North Augusta. It was North Augusta in South Carolina, and dude, I think it was a Harm show. I think we were on a tour, and it was so weird. The guy that opened the show set up this drum set, and it was like the drum set that Neil Peart would set up.
Wow.
But if Neil Peart was also like,
oh, I got one too after this.
If Neil Peart was also like a welder or something, like it was a 200-piece kit, but he had weird stuff on it. It was like chains and like that he played, and like random pieces of things that he played, and he would fire the 200 like piece. And it was just one dude. It was just one guy.
Did he have an SPD too, like a electric?
Yeah, and then like a bunch of other things too, and then like, so he like played stuff, and like, but he wasn't good and he wasn't on time, and then he would like get up in sections off the drums and do interpretive dance,
yikes.
Like to a section of the song, and I was like, I don't know what I'm watching right now.
Damn, that's awesome. Honestly,
I'm gonna go outside and eat dinner.
Speaking of that, you just triggered a memory for me. There was so it was me. We were in Florida. It was me, Sam, and this guy Emmy, who is a show promoter. He went on tour with us, and we were in Florida. It was late. We were like, oh, dude, we gotta eat. We have to. I think Zahara was with us too. Again, my memory's off. I think it was the four of us. It was the four of us, I believe. Speaking of just terrible live show experience. We went to this like biker bar at like 10:30 because the only thing that was open. And I'm sure you've been on the road and you've been to places where you're like, I don't feel comfortable in here, but I have to eat or I'm gonna die.
Especially when you're in the middle of the nowhere in the middle of Ohio or Indiana.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was Florida at like 10:30. I don't even remember where we were, but I think it was Florida. But there was this cover band that was playing. It was like these dudes were super. It was like I'm geeking. The youngest they could have been was possibly like 45.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it was like maybe early 40s to like mid 50s, and these guys were like a cover band, and they did not sound good. The drummer had a drum kit, and he had, like those old dad bands, they think having a double kick and 2 bass drums is like, that's like the thing when you see these like bar bands of like dads and they have like a double bass drum, not double kick, double bass drum, like Alex Van Halen, like double, you know what I mean? And like that's the thing. But this dude's drum kit, he had Satan on both drum kits or both kick heads on the outside, and it was just Satan twice. And they were covering like Nirvana, and dude, they sounded awful. Like
Nirvana, the band that you definitely need a double kick to play.
No, I know, yeah, because it was crazy. I think I don't know what song.
So much double kick in Nirvana.
I don't know if it was like, it wasn't "Smells Like Teen Spirit." It was a Nirvana song or something like. It may have been "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Anna, what's up? Some things I like is you, Brooksy. I love you, Anna. I hope you're doing real good. Cheers to Anna. But yeah, this cover band was, they sounded like ass, and like this was just the food was okay though, but
hey, it was honestly that's half the thing. I can kind of tune out the band if they're bad, if the food is really good.
I saw the things that I saw. There was like these like older biker dudes like hanging out, and they were just like drinking and a little belligerent, and like I saw this guy at a bar. He looked like an older guy, like maybe 55 to 60, and this woman who maybe was in her early 40s, and he had like his hand on her leg and was like talking to her, and I was like, yo.
Hey, yo.
I was like, hey, yo. I was like, I don't know the context. It's probably consensual, but I'm like, from the outside looking in, this looks horrible, and I'm like, I do not want to be a part of this. Chloe goes, ugh. It was fucking weird.
Oh,
no, you should have gone for more. Thank you, Anna. We love you so much. Anna's been around a long time.
Thank
Andrew,
you, Anna.
like she's a real one, indeed.
That's funny. The only other story I have is one of the bands, I won't say who, that I've played with at one of these big festivals. Me and Jason were talking to him about like songwriting and stuff, and Jason's always had this thing. He's like, man, I'm just struggling because I feel like my music is really good, and I'm not doing. It's just not like hitting the right people. You know what I mean? That would like enjoy my stuff. And the guy goes, "Why don't you just like write better songs?" And Jason, and I was like, yo, dude, like, I understand you're trying to give legitimate advice here, but I've heard your songs. I mean, you got like 2 or 3 good ones, and not an album's worth for sure.
Even if I wrote the greatest song of all time, I would never be like, bro, you need to write better songs. Like that is just, you don't say that.
Like, bro, that's some bold move from a dude in his mid 30s playing emo music, my guy.
Oh,
like,
God.
That isn't, massive. He's playing like 200 cap rooms emo music in his late 30s, early 40s.
That's like peak. That's like peak viewership for that audience, but
it is crazy.
Oh, good Lord. But dude, yeah, I'm not a big fan of arrogance. I'm not a big fan of pridefulness, and like maybe
it was a level of arrogance of like, bro, I can guarantee you that guy has never listened to Jason's music. So like, who are you to say that his songs aren't good? Like, I think his songs are actually very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Coming from a
I
dude who
don't
does
think
this full time for a living.
even if your
And
band like sucks, right? Even if your music sucks, even if
Yeah.
your songs suck, there is no way I would ever bring myself to be like, oh, this is trash. Like
Yeah.
I can't, because like being someone who also plays music and writes songs, and like we do this a lot, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
we could honestly be writing shit. Like we don't know. Like who's to say we're not above writing a bad song?
Oh,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
but I think the again the line I cross is the arrogance line.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I do not feel bad telling you you suck if you're an asshole. You know, like
or if like we know you like that. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a level of familiarity there.
Andrew, like for those of you who don't know, Andrew is very blunt. And
Oh, yeah.
I respect
To a fault.
Yeah.
To a fault.
No, but I respect it because Andrew is like, he'll tell you, like if I write something and I give it to Andrew, he says, "Bro, you could do this better." Like
Yeah.
I value that because Andrew, it's not like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, so that's Andrew is an opinion that I value of
Yeah.
somebody who does this all the time. I might not take all of the advice, but I value
Sure.
your input more than I would value some random guy. You know,
Yeah. Which
so
is fair.
and like we're close, like we're homies. Like we could be like, Andrew, I think you could do this better, or even you, like
Sure.
you've told me before. It's like, hey, I think you need to edit this short better, and we did, and look what happened. We got 2
Yeah,
million
and it
views
was-
off of it.
yeah,
so like,
exactly.
I listen to that. That's the kind of stuff I listen to. But like,
3.5 now, by the way. 3.5.
there we go. See, Andrew, I think Andrew was onto something. But you know what I mean? It's like I value your opinion if you said something because, like you said, we're close like that. But like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't know the
Just
person,
some guy rolling up being like, "Hey,
hey
you
man,
should
y'all
write
are
better
ass.
music."
Bye.
Yeah. It's
But
like,
I
hey,
don't know.
bro,
It's wild.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's like get some rapport here
Nope.
first.
Yeah, I know.
But
So
yeah,
any
that
final-
was my instance of a dude being an absolute asshat.
Man, that's crazy. But any
Yeah.
final thoughts for the podcast today as we wrap things up?
Yeah. Go see live music. It's really fun.
Oh, dude, it's
I really enjoy it.
Nothing
Some of my
like
most
it.
memorable experiences have been going to see live music.
man. So Anna said I went to see MCR and a guy had an obnoxiously spiky latex puffer jacket that kept squeaking and poking me. Turns out he had stolen someone's seat. And I
almost
also sat next to-
Steve-O Sonic.
Oh my god. Gotta cry fast.
Gotta cry.
That's awesome. Nice to get your voice again, Brooksy. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. I should be streaming. I want to stream tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Just depends on my work schedule. I really want to play Elden Ring.
I'm about to say, if anything, Friday might work out for you too.
Oh, dude, I want to stream the DLC so bad. I can't
Stream
stand
the
it.
DLC on Friday. Yeah.
But yeah. All I got to say is go see live music. I can't wait to play more shows with Andrew and go to more shows with Andrew. Hopefully we'll get to see.
I'd go see Weezer with you.
Yeah, that would be
That'd be
awesome.
fun.
It's in Greenville on my birthday, so I should
Heck yeah, dude.
make some time to go up there and hang out with you.
That'd be
And
super cool.
hopefully, I mean, I don't know if Aaron would want to go too, but
Maybe. It'll depend.
Yeah, but-
It depend on Micah, honestly.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got for today.
Well, then I will do the honor, the privilege of sending this out. Thank you for listening to the Things We Like podcast. If you liked and you wanted to come hang out with us live, go to @badluckbrooks on YouTube, where we try to, I emphasize, try to stream every Monday, depending on schedule.
Yeah, we
And-
do our best.
But if you miss us live, hey, we also have the VODs on the Thing We Like channel @Things We Like Pod on YouTube. Over there, dropping every Friday for the most part, as long as we stream that week. And then if you want to not look at our faces, because maybe you don't like looking at our faces and you want to just listen, you can check it out wherever you want to listen to your podcasts. Just search Things We Like podcast, and it'll be there. And thank you. Share it with a friend if you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, all that bunch of nonsense. Thank you for chat for being here. We've had a bump in chat today, and I want to just kind of special shout out to all you guys over in chat.
Very cool.
So if you're listening to this after the fact, come hang out with chat. Brooks, any last final words?
Pride comes before the fall. Do not be an asshole.
Later.
So yeah, awesome. That's so true, man. So damn true.
I'm gonna turn y'all up to 11.
Bro, we're gonna crank it up to 10. Oh my god, that's awesome. But yeah, I think we'll end the stream now too, just because I'm gonna get lunch and I need to call
a massive to-do list,
Me
guys.
too.
I have like 4 or 5 different podcasts to edit today.
Dude, yeah, Andrew and I are some of the busiest people you'll ever meet. So
I was gone to Houston last week and the week before, and I missed so much time of working, but it was good because I got a record done. But my gosh, my to-do list got so full. So we're gonna go work on that stuff. So
yeah, all
hey,
right.
we love you guys.
We do.